Hello and welcome back to Journey with Rebecca. My name is Rebecca and this is my journey. And today it is a beautiful sunny day. The birds are chirping. It's not raining, which it's been doing for so long. So I thought it would be a perfect opportunity while it's not raining to go on our first garden and yard tour of the year. So this is something I like to do to just show you guys what I'll be working with this summer and all of the incredible work that I need to do. Plus it gives me a good idea of what I still need to work on, which is a lot. So let's get started. This first little garden is one of my favorites. It's the first to bloom in the spring and it's full of hyacinths, which are my favorite spring flower. I absolutely love this little flower bed. So just starting here in the front garden, you can see it definitely needs a lot of work. I am seeing some, I believe it's garlic mustard or mustard something that I dealt with last year. I'll definitely need to be getting rid of that. It spreads and is invasive, but just a lot of initial cleanup to get these beds looking good again. Coming around the other side here, you can just see all of the work that I need to do just to get these cleaned out. I did not touch these in the fall, so there was no fall cleanup for any of these gardens. I did spend a lot of time up here last year and I power washed all of the bricks, but still a lot of work to do, a lot of things that are just overgrown and definitely need my attention. That bush right there especially is just going crazy. Definitely needs a little haircut. I have a ton of violets growing back here, which I know that you can do a lot of things with them. I know you can make violet syrup, for instance, so I definitely will be picking those and taking advantage of the several uses that violets have. One of the things I talked about last year that I wanted to do was clean this whole area behind me. This is in a space in between mine and my neighbor's house, and it really, I don't know that it's ever really been maintained. I hope to get to it this year. It's going to be a large project. I know that there is like the garden landscaping mat underneath, like a ton of dirt and debris and weeds and stuff that needs to be cleaned out. So it's going to be a huge, large project and it's going to take several days, but that is something that I hope to get to this year. So yeah, another thing that I said I wanted to get to last year was this garden area behind me. So I also have never really touched this. It is overwhelmingly overgrown. I did get in here early this spring and start pulling out some of these trees. These trees that are behind me have started reseeding and planting themselves, which when they start actually growing in makes it very hard to even walk back here. So I dug a bunch of them out and I actually gave them away for free because I didn't want them to go to waste, and I thought if someone else can use them, why not? So I gave them all away and got rid of them, and I'm able to see now a lot of the growth that is happening in here, which I've never actually been able to see before. There are a ton of hostas and just a ton of other weed looking things. I'm not really sure. There are some violets growing in here. So I'm definitely going to have to do some more transplanting of items in here. At one point last summer I said, let's just get rid of the whole garden and just keep the two bigger trees. I don't know if I'm going to do that yet. I also don't know if I'm ever going to have time to get to this garden again this summer. So it's definitely something that's on my wish list, but I just don't know how realistic it is that I'm actually going to get to it. This is an area which, believe it or not, I've already spent a ton of time in already this year. Not this garden part as much as the walkway, getting that all cleaned up and free of weeds. And then I cleaned out this herb garden that I planted last year. There's still a ton of parsley in there and some onions that I transplanted, and then I cut back this clematis bush a ton because it was overtaking everything. And then my daughter helped me clean out these side beds over here, which pretty soon will be filled with hostas and daisies. As you can see here, I just have a ton more clean out to do. Again, I did no clean out during the fall. I had a huge bout of depression. I didn't do any of the things that I planned on doing outside. And so everything really just got left undone. So there's just a ton of cleanup from the fall that needs to be taken care of. This part of the garden really is a really magical place when it's all cleaned out. I absolutely love it back here. It just has seen better days at the moment and definitely could use some cleanup. I've considered getting rid of this walkway completely, just as a thing for weeds to grow in, and I've also got to get rid of the rest of this garden that we dug up last year. Another really lovely place in the backyard is the creek that runs through, and like most other things in my yard right now, it has seen better days. It definitely needs some cleanup. Dealing with a lot of erosion problems, which is why the previous owner planted a bunch of Japanese knotweed in the hopes that it would help with erosion problems, but unfortunately I think it has only added to the problems. And unfortunately as well, this weed is very invasive. It is growing all over our yard and it is very, very difficult to get rid of. So until we are done eradicating all of this, we are not putting up any permanent fencing. You can see it has moved all over the place and is just taking over the entire backyard and the entire backyard garden. It wasn't cleaned up last year, so obviously it's still a mess. But this is one of my favorite places to come to in the backyard. I like to sit on this little rock back here in the creek and just sit, watch the birds and the squirrels and gather my thoughts. And it really is a lovely place to just sit and enjoy nature. All right, I'm in the back vegetable garden area now, and I've been waiting for dump trucks and just machinery and stuff to pass by that's on the street behind us. So there's possibly going to be some added noise that I don't appreciate, but I don't want to wait any longer to finish filming this video. So if you remember last year, if you watched any of my videos, my husband made this beautiful potting bench for me, and right now it's definitely a mess. It needs some sprucing, we'll say. All of this mess right here is metal and just junk that we pulled out of the garden from when we had the big machine and we were digging out back here last year. I'm not sure why we decided to put it all right in front of my potting bench, because I literally can't even stand in front of it right now if I wanted to. I don't know where this stuff is going to go, but it needs a new home. And then I also have this other just pile of junk back here. Honestly, it saddens me to say, but this does look like more of a junkyard than it does an actual potting space and garden, which is sad, but it just means that I have more work to do, and I'll get it fixed up. It's just going to take me some time. This is the view as you're walking straight back into my garden. My husband always jokes and says, "Did you shut the gate?" when really there's no need to, because there's no fencing up anymore. But again, looking very overgrown, very junky, very much in need of so much work. I was able to plant a ton of raspberry bushes that my mom gave to me. So she thinned out hers and gave me a bunch. So I got those planted a few weeks ago. For the most part, they're doing really well. I do have at least 2 that I can see now that have died, but out of 49 plants, I think that's pretty good. We're going to have a very great harvest of raspberries this year, and I'm really looking forward to that. This part of the garden, is where we left a bunch of stuff last year because there were ground bees, and we just did not want to disturb them. So literally fencing, gutters, you name it, granite, it's back there, and it's a real big mess. It's an eyesore. I hate to see it, and it really needs to be taken care of. But we'll get there. Slowly but surely, we will get there. There's the deer that my son and husband do target practice on. And then these black containers are where I planted carrots last year. I did plant 2 of carrots already this year, but other than that, I have yet to plant anything else. Definitely so much more work to be done. Being back here in the vegetable garden is honestly a little bit overwhelming. It reminds me of just how much work that I have to do. Not that I don't mind hard work. I don't mind that at all. It's just I have this vision in my head of how I would like this to one day be, and I'm a bit impatient. So the fact that this is going on our third summer here, and I want to hurry up already and have it the way I want it, but that takes time, and that takes money, and that takes manpower, and it takes the stupid Japanese knotweed to stop growing and like so we can eradicate it, and it takes a lot of things, and a lot of those things that a lot of resources that we don't either have or are waiting on, and I'm beginning to ramble now. I really need to get back here with a tiller and just clear out all of the weeds and the leaves and the junk, and the leaves I can actually compost, but the rest of the stuff I need to just get rid of so I can have a clean slate again and start getting things in the ground. The only thing that I have planted back here right now are 2 containers of carrots and the raspberries. I have a ton of potatoes and onion starts that I need to get planted. I will be doing a lot of container gardening this year just because this back area is so up in the air. There's no permanent fencing. I need to find a way to keep animals from eating all of the things that I'm planting. So a lot of it will just be in containers until I can find a more permanent solution for things. One of the things I'm really happy to see growing back here is garlic, because the plans I had to plant my garlic that I saved from last year again didn't get done because I was depressed and I wasn't up to doing it. So luckily there is a ton more garlic back here that I will be able to harvest this June. Let's not forget all of this granite that we have behind me. This is not all of it, but this is most of it. This is just all of the granite that we have found around our yard, our gardens, the house, just everywhere. Still not quite sure what to do with all of this. I would love it if just somebody wanted to come and pick it up for free and find something to do with it. There are a couple of things that I have thought of doing with a few pieces, but I definitely don't need this much of it. I don't think anybody needs this much scrap granite, but here we are. I am going to end the tour here right next to this beautiful butterfly bush that is ready to bloom, and I'm so excited to see what that will bring to my garden. And then I have this garden right here next to me that I'm actually going to do something really special with. Last year I celebrated 1 year of sobriety in August, and on that day I bought myself a bouquet of flowers just to celebrate myself. And what I did was I saved all of the seeds from that bouquet, and I'm actually going to plant them in this garden here right next to me, just as sort of like a celebration of my sobriety. I think it'll be really special, and I can't wait to actually plant it and watch it bloom. I do have some lavender in here and a couple of other things that I'm not quite sure what they are that I'm going to just rehome because I have plenty of other room to put those plants that are in there. But I thought this would be a really special place just to sort of celebrate myself and plant something to remind myself of how far I have come since I have been sober. And by August this year, while I am celebrating my 2nd year of sobriety, it should be in full bloom, and I just can't wait to see what it will look like. I really hope that you enjoyed going on this tour with me, and if you did, don't forget to hit that like button, and don't forget to subscribe and share with your friends. As you can see, I have a ton of work to do, and I'm really looking forward to seeing all of it unfold and watching my vision come to life as I continue to work on all of these flower beds and my vegetable gardens. And I really appreciate you guys taking this journey with me. So thank you for watching, and I will see you guys soon.